Howdy, folks. Welcome to the next piece of the Contribute to the Culture examples to get you a feel of what I'm looking for and really just geek out with the folks who would sign up for a Star Wars class about all the cool Star Wars collectibles I've spent a ton of money on. So now they are work purchases. That's what this is about. No, I'm kidding. I bought them for love of the game. But anyways, we've got the boxes for the Obi-Wan you saw in the previous video. If we were to crack this open, we'd see all of the different component parts that can go into it. Check out the box. Real cool high-end imagery that's going on. And you've got all your options. You got a couple other hands for him so you can style him up, do whatever. You got an extra lightsaber tucked in here. You got all sorts of cool stuff so you can have him activated blade. You can go a million ways with it. I absolutely love it. And I just wanted to touch on that because that's not the only thing. I picked up the book that has my man Obi-Wan on the cover. So there's a little bit of detail that goes into this book about the decisions they made with all of their figures. But you can see that you get moments of sculpting, you get decision making, this type of thing. I wanted to bring this up because you have to explain to us what's going on in your project. So think about how you're going to go about doing that. Are you going to have some blurbs? You got to have a video attached to this, so you're going to speak through it. But are you going to run, say, like, a slideshow video that you have going through this where you have stills of things that are going on? It's going to depend on what your project is, how you present it. But there are ways of doing it, right? I also had to have the companion art piece, right? This is called Desert Nomad. Absolutely brilliant. You've got Obi-Wan from the Mythos image. You've got Vader overarching him, Death Star in the background. You've got Tusken Raiders. You've got Jawas, Sandcrawlers, Star Destroyers, Stormtroopers. You got the Twin Suns, and you got all of this kind of like following Obi-Wan kind of at his back and coming after him, right? Very cool. Very brilliant piece. Had to have it. It's going up on the wall right after this presentation. I've had them for a little bit. I didn't want to put them on the wall a little while ago because I was going to bring them into class for you, and then we're remote, and now I'm like, I'll just hang them up after the presentation. So they're going on this wall right here. The other side, you've got Boba Fett, force to be reckoned with. If you took a look at either of my live tweet watches of the movie, you would have seen the Fett Man pop up. He's my guy. All right, I'm one of those fans, fan of the Fett Man. So I obviously had to have the Mythos 1/6 scale version of Boba Fett. And he is not yet unboxed because I don't have the right spot for him just yet. This room is a little small. But yeah, you got the same artwork all the way around. A little bit thinner of a box, but nothing lacking for it. All right. And so you got the Fett Man. He's looking like he could be in some sort of desert planet situation. He's got the extra burlap style stuff going on. I'm not going to break him out too much, but this is going to give him that sense. He comes with a cool sniper rifle, so you get that sense of that like ghillie suit, that extra level of hiding, that amazing like Beskar armor he's got going on. One of the key moments to this is not just the stuff he comes with. He comes with all sorts of cool weaponry. All right, you got his jetpack in the back. You got a cool sniper rifle there, also wrapped up in the same material that he's in. You got his EE-10 classic. You got the concussion grenade. You got his pistol there. Very cool stuff. And so this again is imagining the Fett Man in some other version. And here it is. And for those of you who were Fett fans in the extended universe, he was doing some monster cool stuff. More canonically, you've got this Mandalorian tradition, which we will see, I think, in season 2 of The Mandalorian, a little bit more certainty on where the Fett Man falls in, having this Mandalorian style armor. I would wager we get a little bit of a talk on that in season 2. So I'm hopeful for that, but I'm also a little guarded. You know, I'm not sold that even Tamara Morrison is playing the Fett Man in the show, because we all know Tamara Morrison was also every clone. So he doesn't have to be Boba Fett, right? But if he is, it's the greatest thing that ever happened, right? The key to this figure, to this storytelling, like we had in the Obi-Wan, is actually included pretty deeply in the image, the painting, the portrait that went with it. It's called A Force to be Reckoned With, and it's Obi-Wan standing over the corpse, who's still like smoking from getting blasted by him, and he's looking at the guy's lightsaber, and there are like 3 lightsabers in this box that are his trophies, his Jedi kills. And that's just the amazing thing about the Fett Man, and this imagining of his capabilities, because he is just this force to be reckoned with, right? And so this is that type of imagination we're going for, where if you were into the extended universe back in the day, you would have seen the deep cuts of how Fett gets out of the Sarlacc. You would have seen two moments he fought Vader, and he didn't lose, he didn't die. There's actually one graphic novel story where Fett pulls out a lightsaber and says to Vader, "You're not the only one who's killed Jedi," and it's just like, oh, money. And so this kind of response to this Fett culture in when we watch Ep 5, you'll read one of the chapters that says being Boba, and they really get into this like culture moment of Boba Fett, who has 150 characters worth of words in the entire saga. So the culture has really gravitated towards Fett. And I'm going to work towards putting something together a little bit more intense to justify that, because it's very much where I was coming from. And this was something I was drawn to as a kid, just in the movies. I became obsessed with the Fett Man. And this was just a childhood thing. So there's something about the Fett that draws people of all ages. And so I just wanted to bring that up for you. Now, I got a few other things that are going to help you see the real, options you have. All right, I got these 2 things. All right, you saw the stuff on the Ralph McQuarrie paintings. Here's a figure that they did as an anniversary edition of Vader, but from the Ralph McQuarrie paintings. Like, it's real cool. I was like, oh, I have to have that Vader, that original image of Vader. Super cool. And it lets you see something different. So imagine that, like, someone was looking to do this project, and they said, oh, those McQuarrie paintings are so cool, and there's only one, and Lucas has them in his home. You're never going to get your hands on that stuff. So what if I sculpted a figure for that? And boom, imagine you were able to turn this in, right? Obviously, it's done. The figure's made, so I don't need you remaking figures. But the idea is that's how you get this contribute to the culture project. You get this real special moment of Star Wars culture that you don't have access to any other way, that gets you into the wars a little bit deeper, a little bit more. All right, so I was thinking of that. We also got a figure, General Grievous, but pre-Cyborg Grievous. That's cool as hell. And the reference material for that is like the Clone Wars animated CGI show, where you get this like Temple of Grievous, and you see these statues of like him pre-cyborg stuff. It's crazy stuff. Like that's the type of, and it doesn't have to be so deep cut, but The idea is that we connect with the wars in a unique way that we just don't have any other way. Give us, who love being a part of Star Wars, something that reinvigorates the thing we're a part of. Because, yeah, we all love sitting down and watching the movies again, but what do? We just enjoy the movies again. So this is how you can re-describe the movies, re-access that thing that is Star Wars. And so if you want to go a little bit more creative, here is my Ronin Boba Fett from Bandai. Right on. This is my Boba Fett samurai, and I'm a Fett man, so I gotta have him. Hot Toys Sideshow has actually taken over production of these lines of things, so you can get them now again a little bit more mainstream. Back when I first saw these things, they were in Barnes and Noble being sold for like 40-50 bucks, and I'm like, it's an action figure, it'll be around forever. And then it wasn't, so I picked it up on eBay for way more than they were originally sold, but also probably a bit less now, because you got to make sure you get the Japanese ones, the original. You don't want some knockoffs. The quick version, that reflective sticker, that's what you got to ask the folks on eBay to send you pictures of if you're looking to get your hands on these. But let's imagine that you were trying to do this, that the creator of these was trying to contribute to the culture project, because let's face it, gang, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to give the culture something they don't have, but something that they need. Yeah, business-wise, something you need, something you want, but this is the idea. All of the decisions that go into this. Well, would Boba Fett have full samurai sword? Doesn't seem his style, especially since the samurai notion is for the Jedi and Sith. Very much Vader's helmet is samurai all day. So he gets a little Wakizashi short sword. He's also got to have that Japanese medieval age firearm. Boba Fett without a gun is just no good. You get all the little tools. Some kunai, his flamethrower, like grappling hook arm is a kunai with like what would have a little rope attached to it. You've got his jetpack, but it's all stylized, right? And so the idea is each one of these decisions only works if it feels like the Fett man. If he isn't like the samurai version of Fett, like what if Boba Fett was in a samurai film? What would there be? What would he have? What decisions would he make as a character in that world? And now we're talking about that contribute to the culture moment. Give us something that we don't have. Right, gang? Now, there's one last thing I want to show you, okay? And perhaps this is going to help you start to draw the line, okay? Because what I have for you here is the speeder bike, because my man, the Scout Trooper. All right. Love the Scout Troopers. Loved them my entire life. They just pulled me towards them. I don't know exactly what was going on, but then when I do start to think about, these troopers who are positioned in Endor, in the woods, they got cool nuance to them. They're more mobile because they don't have that thigh armor. They've got these cool speeder bikes. They've got all this cool stuff going on, and they're in the woods. They're in that, and I feel like they kind of retconned the thing that makes sense to me. Part of the wilderness survival stuff I did. I was hunted for 5 nights straight down at the wilderness survival school. So when you get the camo version of the clone scouts in Ep 3, I'm like, okay, yeah. Because white is awful camouflage, except on Hoth, right? But awful camouflage here. Now this Hot Toys came in the regular and deluxe edition. Now, if you tried to submit the regular edition for this assignment, it would not go well because it's just a Scout Trooper. I'm looking for something a little bit more nuanced than, you produced a figure of a character. Because yeah, cool, you would have had to get into some screen accuracy stuff, but the idea is, what did you learn about the wars? How did you connect to the wars by creating a figure that is just in there, also that has been produced before? Okay, so if you love the Scout Troopers, people love the Scout Troopers, then this is one of those things you want to pick up. But on the other hand, you get the deluxe one, and it comes with a sniper rifle. And that is the difference between a connect and contribute to the culture moment and just produce something that exists on screen. Okay? Because, like the Obi-Wan is telling a story that is not filmed, that is not on the screen, but giving us a way to be a part of it. This deluxe edition asserts that the Scout Trooper is functioning with a sniper rifle, has this alternative role than just this biker scout, like boot pistol guy. And so that is this connection. Now, this is not to say you go get an action figure and you give it a new gun, right? But that's the difference, right? I hope that makes sense, because the idea is that you are giving us an access point that we don't have otherwise. Okay, so your job is to contribute to the culture by connecting with it and giving us a path to connect to the films, the saga, the wars in a unique, unprecedented way. Okay, so I want you to be creative, and I think all of you have that potential. I think you just gotta use that confidence, really focus on the vibe, how these things get us there, right? How does this stuff allow us an experience with Star Wars that we didn't have otherwise? And that's what I'm asking you to do. I want you to say, the culture gives this to me, and I want to give back to the culture. Okay? So, be sure whatever you're producing, whatever you're thinking of doing, has that pathway to something new, something unique, something special that we just wouldn't have otherwise. Okay, gang? So, questions, hit them up on the boards. If you have any thoughts, anything like that, let me know. Hit me up. And also, definitely get ahead of the game on the board post where you are proposing your project for approval, right? I'm super excited to hear about those. I'm super excited to help you get where you want them to be, and so that I can just give everyone an A on this assignment, because you all earned it. That's where we want to be, so then my job gets easier and we can just kick back and enjoy it as a class. Right on, gang. So after this, you can check below and see some of the student examples that I have for you. Just pulling a few, but it was a dynamic, exciting thing last semester. And so I want you folks to see what some students have managed to pull off, so you can get a rounder vibe of this. But anyways, gang, I'll catch you in the boards. I'll catch you in the vids. Be good, and thanks for letting me geek out about all my Star Wars stuff. Gang, be good.